What's up, everybody? We back where we were once athletes. NBA's really first official season. We've been away, but we back with it. We got some good 2 weeks of last NBA hoops. We appreciate the wait with all of our fans out there waiting for that NBA content, but we back. Uh, Excuse me if I'm tired, man. Been up kids keeping me up, keeping me busy. Tomorrow, get a little break. Veterans, happy Veterans Day, everybody out there that served. But man, like we was discussing, man, it's good to be back. It's good for some good NBA. We was just mentioning, man, some good games going on, man. What game tonight? When we was just looking, man, what game's catching your eye tonight? Like, what's something, you know, that hey, I think it's gonna be it's a good game or a good game going on right now.
Unexpectedly, one that turned into a good game was Washington and Detroit.
Mm,
Detroit's really been rolling this year, so I thought this was a bit of a layup game for them. But Washington has really pushed them. But I do think these close games are good for Detroit because come playoff
I
time,
see that.
it'll really sharpen them. Especially since like last year, you could tell
Right.
a bit of Detroit's inexperience showed.
But you know what, man? I really am surprised. Well, I'm not surprised, but the Pistons to me didn't start off that good. I actually thought that they really were kind of, I don't know, a little rusty, so to speak. But it wasn't until these last five or games or so, man, where I really seen the shift with Detroit getting back to how they ended last year. And you see, even right here with Cade, 46, 12, and 11, the last couple of games, he been just going in, man. You see what he did to Ja the other night? That was a big game. I feel like he just little boyed him. If you see that type of, and he looked like he kind of been putting on a little bit of muscle too. So, man, if he and Jay Duran, big man holding it
Oh
down,
man.
holding the paint down.
Uh,
So,
Jalen Duren, I do think he's been one of the most improved players so far this year.
yeah,
I think if I'm not mistaken, right now he's averaging like 20 and 12. And you could tell, and he's only 21
yeah,
and he already has like a grown man body, and you could tell like he's improved on his game. He stretched his game out. Now he's working in the 14, 15 feet area, giving you little jump hooks, pulling
yeah,
up mid-range jump shots. And then, of course, he's ultra athletic. He's gonna rebound, he's gonna block shots, and
yeah.
him
He's
and
a
Cade
forcer.
just like got like a great chemistry going.
Agreed, man. Look, his stats tonight was 19 points, 14 rebounds, 60% field goal. You know what I'm saying? 6 for 10. Hey, dude was balling, hitting his free throw 7 for 11. That's key. So no, I agree with you. He's doing his thing over there, man. He's kind of making that leap, especially without Isaiah Stewart. Not saying I feel like he's a big scoring, but just holding that enforcer, that role, holding that kind of toughness when it comes to Detroit basketball. So definitely shout out Jalen Dillon for kind of turning into a leader, but being consistent as well. He's going to help Cade when it comes down to playoff times. It gets physical and just helping relieve Cade. But man, 46, what Cade been doing these last couple games kind of been like, hey, move out the way. Like, I got this. So he's in MVP talks. So hey, you know what? That can kind of lead into the first question for second, I should say. Uh, MVP so far the last 2 weeks, man. Who's kind of who you say is in that ladder right now? Who's really? I got my pick, but who you looking at right now? If you had to say top three, let's go top three.
Top three for MVP. Obviously, you can't ignore Giannis. What Giannis
Yeah,
has been
he's
doing,
probably my number
especially with
three.
like uh as little talent as they have over there in Milwaukee.
Yeah,
Giannis has been dominating like the this first part of the season. I would have Giannis. Of course, you got to throw Shea in there. The Thunder are 10-1. Shea is averaging his usual like
yeah,
29 to 30 points. Um, and Luca. Every time
yeah,
I've seen Luca play
man.
so far this season, it seemed
Yeah,
effortless for Luca. I don't think there's been a game where I've watched Luca and he hasn't had 30.
is Donovan mention a good honorable mention?
I'd give him an honorable mention, but I don't think he's outplayed those three. Um, I feel like those three have been like the cream of the crop so far this season. In a season where everybody's actually been playing really well. Like all the stars have been performing. Like you look at Wembenyama, Jokic, of course, um, KD with the Rockets, like Jalen Brunson, Cade Cunningham, another one, hooping. And
Hooping.
it's just like, man, it's a lot of like good play going on around the league. But those three stand out the most to me.
I agree, and I like that. If I had to say, I'm gonna go Shea, Luca, Giannis. I'm really sketchy on Luca, and why am I sketchy on Luca? I mean, he missed time. That's can lead us in transition into our team or the Lakers. We can discuss that, but he missed time, and Austin Reeves was shown why he didn't take the bag he took. He's saying I'm worth more. I'm starting to see that too. Like he held it down to where I think we kind of forgetting. Had he not, and the record been, what it was, that's on Luka and LeBron. Are we still looking at Luka the same? Like Luka playing these last 5 games and that record, I can't necessarily say he's been responsible for, or we are forgetting. So I need a couple more games from Luka. Honestly, I really do feel like he's still playing. I don't know, man. Like, is he any different? I feel like his play style and the way it's just, I don't know, man. He moves so fast and slow at the same time. It's hard to explain.
I think Luca, the difference between Luca now and last year is one, of course, his fitness. Like we've seen him lose some weight, but also his effort on the defensive end.
True.
Like I watched him. I can't remember. It wasn't the game against the Hawks. It was the game before that. They were kind of out. Man, I can't. I gotta look at their games.
Was it recently? Because
Um,
they just played the
yeah,
Hawks a few days ago for sure.
it was recent. It was before the Hawks game. Can't remember who they were playing. I'm trying to take a look at the schedule real quick. Um, it was against Miami, no, San Antonio, where I
Mm,
watched Luca play great help side defense, but also have his hands in the passing lanes and the effort like on closeouts, on contests, even like fronting Wimby at points to deter like the post entry. Like that was a real like game changer to see between Luca last year and Luca this year, because last year he didn't give that effort. And then you add on top of that, he's averaging 37, 10, and 9.5 assists.
yeah.
So that's a 37-point triple double.
And the assist is what I will appreciate about him is that he's still before Austin went down with his injury on the groin. Like I feel like those two combination that their chemistry was. Luca was letting it go. You know what I'm saying? He would let him get off. So much to the point where we're like, hey, well, when Braun come back, he third option. You know what I'm saying? Like let these two young bucks cook. Let them do their thing. You know what I'm saying? And let Ayton hold up. LeBron just sit out there, but you turn LeBron into what Nick Young, the corner boy. You turn LeBron into that, and then that's going to be where I want to see how the Lakers offense goes, and I think that's what people are referring to when it's just like you heard the things of trade LeBron now, or just you hear those type of sayings because that means chemistry. All that means is how LeBron plays. He needs the ball. It's taking the ball out these two guys' hand because he's gonna have to get his. Otherwise, he's got to stand in the corner and be a spot up. You know what I'm saying? And that's not LeBron's game either. Not saying he can't, but now he's turning into that role. So it's gonna be exciting to see, but at the same time, I'm curious to see how that works though when it comes to the Lakers offense. What you think about that when LeBron returns?
I think it would be smart to have Braun play more off ball. I think
Okay.
one thing that Braun does well as an off ball player, better than Austin Reeves and Luca, is LeBron is a better cutter.
Mm,
LeBron slashes to the basket better. And Luca, if you know Luca, Luca loves playing with a lob threat and he loves playing with a slasher
that's a
because
fact.
he can get them easy points at the rim. And I
Right.
think at this juncture in LeBron's career, you want to make sure he's getting easy points at the rim, that he's not having to grab the rebound and push it, go coast to
Push.
coast
True.
at 41, trying to beat everybody down the court. Whereas like if he could get to the basket, off a Luca assist or AR running the point, like I feel like that's perfect. I feel like LeBron could fit right in, especially as a
So,
four.
so you're turning him
And
into Aaron Gordon.
yeah, I feel like LeBron can be an excellent man's version of Aaron Gordon
It's a
because
bumper spot.
LeBron is obviously he's still a better passer.
Yeah,
Um, LeBron has a higher IQ. LeBron will still be able to rebound, but LeBron at this juncture in his career, he's evolved into a bit of a three-point shooter, so he can
he's
shoot
shooting
the
a little
long
better.
ball. And especially with someone like Luca running the point, he can get LeBron easy opportunities. So
That's
why
true.
wouldn't you want to make his scoring easier for him? And then you save his energy, and now he's able to help you in a deep playoff run.
Then we got to worry about him on defense too. We have to end up worrying about that. All these young bucks is going at him, so now we got to put them on the island. Um, yeah, it's just
I do
becoming a
think
young
that's
man's
the
game. Yeah. What you say?
I do think that's the thing though. If Luca is in charge with the way Luca is playing now, I do think that alleviates a lot of offensive responsibilities for from LeBron to where he can then lock in on the defensive end. Because if
Right.
you look at it during the playoffs, Luca's offensive play was kind of subpar, like in that series against the Timberwolves. And LeBron had to do a
True.
lot of the heavy lifting. But with that heavy lifting came exhaustion on the defensive end. And especially at age 40, them legs gonna go quick.
They're
And
gonna
now
go
you
quick.
can't move as fast
That's
laterally.
that's a
So
fact. No, that's a fact on that. No, that's a fact. That's a fact. Uh, Maybe exciting. It will be exciting to see LeBron get back before the month end. I don't know. Just being a Laker fan, we want to see it together. Um, it's been a lot with LeBron and the Lakers, and I think if we can kind of put that beside us and kind of like just go out and hoop and see how what it is and see it's open in the West. Anybody can be beat. I didn't know. I mean, we'll talk about it. Hey man, but now I do want to shift into injuries. I want to kind of just see if what injury out there. There's been key injuries out there. People like Jalen Green, Zion. Those actually are two key injuries right now. I feel like that kind of are affecting their team. I one thing I have to say because I thought of Zion is like, man, when is Willie Green keeping his job? I'm cool. I don't want to talk about people's job and all that, but man, he's just one coach that I felt like, man, is he on thin ice? It just seems like they don't play to their potential. They have been playing well without Zion, by the way, and maybe that's the case. Well, what I say, how I feel about Willie Green as the coach, maybe he just coaches better within the system without Zion. That's something to look at when it comes to the Pelicans because they have won and played a different type of ball, and I think that's a thing. While they got Queen, Queen has a different game that doesn't require like Zion, what I'm saying? He's got more of a skillful game. So I do think that was always my opinion why they drafted him and moved up was always because of this Zion potential hammies, ankles, just really not 100% with Zion. And this was their security blanket. So it doesn't surprise me that they're probably playing well. I guess I kind of answered my own question. Like I was really looking at Willie as like underperforming as a coach. But then I do see like, dang, the Pelicans have kind of went on a little streak too. So they just got a different play. I don't know. What that's about. Something to keep an eye on. What you think, man?
I think that can be said for a lot of teams. When you have like that domineering force on your team, there's your game plan becomes centered around get him the ball, make sure he's involved.
True.
Whereas like when you have like a lot of good guys, everybody gets the ball, everybody's touching the rock. And
That is true.
on bad teams, that type of play will get exposed really quick because now you don't have that domineering force, so the lack of skill on your team will become exposed. But the tale of a good team is how you play when your best player isn't there. And you see that a lot of guys on the Pelicans roster are actually very capable when Zion isn't there, and it has a lot more of a continuity to their offense.
That is true. That is true, man. Something to keep an eye on, man. When it comes to Pelicans, I know no ownership with Joe Dumars. I do think Willie and just I don't know. I think that there'll be some changes if there is an underperformance this year for sure. So something just to keep an eye on. But they fears also we got to give shout out to him. He's been playing well on the rookie side too.
Oh yeah.
So yeah. They're playing hard on there. So and Herbert Jones, I've been seeing numbers he's put up on the low too. So it's just something to look at. And you're right. Maybe it's a lot of people that need the ball over there. It is what it is. No, something to look at, man. Who else did I mention? Jalen Green. Jalen Green, he was just getting back with Phoenix. I watched a few games. I watched a few, his first game back. Shot the ball. I remember 10 for 20. He was aggressive. I felt like I thought he was too aggressive when I was watching him. But it looked like, he kind of is a player that warms up. He needs a few shots to get up, get to the free throw line. But he was playing good that game against the Clippers. I felt like was once he hit a few shots, he really started getting confident. Fast forward, I do think him coming back, missing the hamstring, it may be something to look at if they're going to get that game in, he probably shouldn't have played a back to back. If you've already missed the first
Yeah.
8 games, why are you playing a back to back? Sit on down, man, and we should have sat you down. So that's something that they should look at. Probably should look at that same thing with what's his name, Anthony Edwards. He's somebody else out there that I know was dealing with the hamstring. Looks like hammies, kind of a little bit up this year. I don't know what that's about. I don't know if that's. I do think the hamstrings come from sitting and getting up. Not playing basketball all the time. I could be wrong though. But that's another thing. But yeah, man, that was something that got me, man, to Jalen Green. I feel like Devin Booker was needing that other help, offensively, man. What you think?
Yeah, I do think Book needed another like a younger guy because the
Yeah, for
last two
sure.
guys they brought into Phoenix have been old, and Kevin Durant, um, and Bradley Beal. I do think Jalen Green's potential. He has a lot of untapped potential.
Yeah,
I do think obviously you want him to see more consistency in him, especially when it comes to his offensive game. Like in their series against the Warriors, I think he had one game where he went off for 30. And then other than that, he was like hovering around 10 points like religiously.
yeah.
So I definitely think as he grows and matures, him and Booker could go hand in hand and he can alleviate some offensive responsibilities as far as scoring from Book. But it comes down to his aggressiveness on the court. And not honestly not being in his own head. There were a lot of times in that series where you can tell he was overthinking it.
Definitely overthinking it. Let me ask you something about when it comes to the Suns, man. Had this conversation with one of my boys who's lived out in Phoenix, man, as a son, kind of start watching his sons, went to a few games, man. But have you noticed what Book that he's, I was asking him, have you noticed what Booker that he's taking like a lot more tougher shots lately? I don't know, man. His form, something's different about his game. It's just, I don't know if I don't know if the combinations I don't know if he's making the game I don't know if he has an easy shot anymore. I don't think he can just get to a spot no more. Something was off. I don't know. He's very contested lately. Um, I don't know. Just something I was paying attention to. He just I don't know. It takes a lot of dribbles to get to a basket now, and I feel like that's kind of where the game is transitioning to elite one-on-one, players too. Is like, man, getting a shot with less dribbles. Like that's kind of what it is too, instead of just a whole bunch of dribbles. But just something I was paying. I don't know. I was just looking at like, man, he takes a lot of contested shots that make it. But then maybe that's just because he has to too. To your point, to what I say too, Jalen alleviates them tough shots too. He feels like he can pass it to another person to get it. So that could be it too, man. But for sure, man, I'm gonna get into a team that's kind of disappointing right now, underperforming, the Dallas Mavericks. Man, I'm gonna shift it right to you, man. What's been your take with Dallas, man? What's going on?
I think Dallas has been pretty bad to start
Yes,
this
yeah.
year.
Yeah.
Obviously, like I seen, um, I think it was Anthony Davis's first game. he came in like out of shape and overweight. And I think that in itself was like, oh, okay. Um,
I think that was on purpose.
um, I don't know, man.
He
Like
may be his
coming
best
in,
bet.
yeah, and Clay has been struggling shooting the ball. Like I don't
Bang.
know if I've seen Clay play a good game. Um,
True.
like AD is averaging 20.8.
True.
He's been unavailable for some of these games. And Clay's been playing like so poorly to the point like Clay's been benched. And D'Angelo Russell is starting now. I have it right here. Clay Thompson is averaging 7.6 points. Um, and for someone with like as much cachet as Clay, like it's actually been pretty disappointing to see him like I don't want to say fall off, but not be as close to as what he once was. Um, I think as a continuity, the Mavericks have just been struggling, and this in combination with how well Luca and the Lakers have been playing, a lot of eyes are going back to that trade.
Well, see, and I agree. That's what it does go back to. But we got to remember, like, they still anticipated Kyrie being there, being a facilitator, being a creator, and that's something that's hurting Clay too, which is kind of piggybacking off of talking about Clay. It lets you know, like, the game transition, like even before the Clay can't get his shot off, so he is a spot up. But at the same time, the defense is so fast and explosive now. It's just he's rushing, but he doesn't have. I feel like that go-to shot anymore. He just doesn't have that confidence. There's not that pop. I don't know. So when Clay doesn't have that ball facilitator, he's not gonna get shots. D'Angelo Russell, his IQ and his decision making. Let me rephrase that. His decision making is just a little bit more. When it comes to Clay and how the way he's playing, and D'Angelo Russell gets the right pass in, the right shot in, rather than just look for Clay. I'm not saying he doesn't, but I don't know, man. I could just see Clay get lost because he's just focusing on being a spot up rather than cutting anymore and making those easier passes for D'Angelo Russell. So looks like Marcus look like we lost you, but it looks like we'll get you back. Let me see, man. For the time being, I'm looking at these games right now. You got the Mavericks is beating the Bucks right now. Bucks been playing pretty good to me. They've actually surprised me without really just the team that they have had. I mean, even Porter going down the sixth season, that was kind of supposed to take the
I
point
think
guard
your connection cut
role,
out a
and then you
bit.
got Ryan Hollins coming in hooping like shoot the Bucks. They really been playing. Giannis has really put some. Ryan Rollins. They really been putting some effort on the defensive side and making the right play. And Giannis has really showed to me a lot of, I feel like a lot of faith in his teammates, a lot of being a leader, not pouting, not being one of those type of players. That goes a long way, I feel like, and I think that's what's kind of held the team up a little bit. Kyle Kuzma's been shooting the ball, playing really well lately. Looks like tonight he's got 16. Looking at the AJ Green shooting the ball well, they definitely got confidence in him for sure. Miles Turner, I see you, 14.7 rebounds. Then you got Giannis, of course, 15, 5 assists, 4 rebounds, 5 assists. Let me know. Trust in the defense, Hey, what's up? I see you back. I was just talking about the Bucks. That was a team that said that I'm really not surprised, but I was not expecting them to just kind of start out the wins that they've had, the type of basketball. Like their losses have been some pretty good fight losses. I know last night, Giannis was up against the Rockets and Sangoon was a game. And of course, hey, the best of the best always. People have their game. Sangoon, I feel like, was the younger, a little bit more, had less miles on his body right now in basketball than Giannis. Giannis may not be fully 100. I really think Giannis is dealing with the knee or leg or something, but even that 90 or 85% is very, very effective. But yeah, the Bucks have been playing well. Showed me leadership in Giannis. I said Just I feel like his confidence in his team, body language. I feel like that stuff goes a long way, and it puts confidence in these players to say, hey, we may not be that all NBA or all star players right now, but we're going to be effective at our role. We're going to just do what it takes to win. We're going to lock up on D. Ryan Rollins been making a nice second option for Giannis, on the perimeter, coming in, stepping in that role. What you think about the Bucks, man?
I think the Bucks have actually, from for their collective talent, the Bucks have been overperforming. Like I'm looking at their entire starting five, they average double digits. Giannis averaging 34, Rollins averaging 17,
Yeah,
Kuzma 12, Gary Trent Jr. 12, basically 11 and a half, Miles Turner 11. And it seems like there's a lot more of a continuity of the people around Giannis
yeah,
to where like you look at Giannis's numbers, like yeah, they're gaudy, but I think that it's also a reflection of like his team and how well they fit together. Like Giannis
right.
is averaging 34, 12, and 6. And what really sticks out to me is those 6 assists based off of like the guys they have around him.
I agree, and it's looking like the same kind of motto as that Pacers team last year. With Halliburton, like a bunch of players that can get buckets, man. Like that's kind of what the Bucks has. I agree with you, man. Like the ball doesn't stick. And Giannis is the perfect big where you really don't want the ball to stick anyways. He's such a good dunker spot type of player. And, when he puts you in the post or hit you with the midi or if the threes, that stuff's just icing on the cake. But those buckets down there by the basket is just, you know, easy money. You know what I'm saying? So, no, for sure, man. Dang, that's some crazy numbers that he had, man. That's crazy numbers. Hey, I was just looking at the Lakers. They won tonight against the Hornets. Uh, and if y'all don't know already on the channel, this definitely is, two Laker fans. So it's always, updating and watching and see what they own. So if you notice, it's a lot of Laker talk. That's because it's Laker all day. But look, when the Lakers is playing like this with Luka Doncic, at 38 points tonight, you got Reeves 24, DeAndre Ayton 14, 14 and 6 rebounds. Not 14 and 3. Yeah, 14 and 6. You got Ruri 21. I be telling my boy he's a baby Kawhi, but he don't believe me. Marcus Smart 13. 13, 7 steals. Marcus Smart. Dang. 6 assists, 4 rebounds. Hustling. Yeah, hustling. Yeah, they sleeping on you, Marcus. Defensive Player of the Year, first guard since Gary Payton. I got you, Marcus. I got you, man. Yeah. So who else we got here? Charlotte Hornets. Kai Knappel, 19, 10 rebounds, 9 assists. I see you, Duke boy down there. Getting the boards. Okay. Oh, Miles Bridges, 34.
Dude,
I see you back.
what
Hey,
keep
man,
happening?
I was just seeing the stats of the Lakers game and that Charlotte game, and I let the episode, people watching this, let them know, hey, if they hear a lot of Laker talk, it's Laker all day. But look at that, Marcus Smart, 13.7 steals tonight, man. Out there locking up first. He said, don't forget about his defensive player of the year. That's funny. Look at just great numbers. Great numbers tonight.
Yeah. I think the Lakers have been playing well this season. The only thing that really has bothered me so far about the Lakers this year was that
Man,
inexplainable loss to Atlanta
Pelicans are
uh
struggling,
the
man.
game before this one.
Hey,
I
man,
don't
next
know
thing
what was
I had
happening
on
in
the
that
list was
game.
the Minnesota Timberwolves. There was rumors, as far as maybe trading out for John Morant. That can kind of, you've seen the last couple of weeks. Ja, of course, had his situation, his 1 game suspension. Uh, whatever they called it, detrimental to the team. Really, it was just the pouting and the effort and really body language. And we got to understand that that type of stuff happens in real life and real jobs. And yeah, if you know, you know. So it didn't surprise me that they got to let him know. But at the same time, it may be wise to look at moving Ja. I believe that he may need a fresh start somewhere else. He may just want to go somewhere else. I do feel like since Dylan Brooks left, the Memphis Grizzlies kind of were just, I don't know. And then after Jenkins, the head coach, was that a player's choice or was that an ownership choice? Do we know? That hurt the team for sure. And then I just feel like once they brought that coach in that they said it was supposed to change the offense never really changed. It almost made Ja become a shooter rather than an off the pick and roll decision, live, get to the bucket, you know what I'm saying, be in that type of role. So that's just something that I think Ja probably is frustrated with. As you can see, Ja is really not a good jump shooter. I think that's hurting Ja, definitely for sure. That's something that I do think he should just look into improving in the offseason and coming into the next years. You look at the type of players of Ja's caliber with being an explosive guard, for those years and kind of where you made your mark being an athletic point guard. Ja can be, if he starts now, just working on your shot because you're going to turn into one of those players anyway, where, Derrick Rose, I remember, had to turn into a jump shooter in a way, and kind of, with athleticism and not saying injuries, we don't want that on Ja, but, to prolong your career, you're going to have to be able to use your skill and rely on, being effective at something at certain areas and ages in your career. So just something I think Josh should recognize this summer is working on your jump shot, putting in some shots, and where when time gets, because he's a great IQ. I felt he's a great passer. He's made some, according to NBA standards, average players compete. Even if they don't win, but they he can make players believe and play well. So he has that ability to facilitate. It's just, being healthy and not having to rely on athleticism, but being able to, have a go-to, have something to rely on. So I do think Ja may need to look somewhere else. I think, ownership. I think he's probably cool with teammates, but it's probably like just within the organization and the coaching staff. He feels like it's probably just not it. They really are they competing in the West? Can they really come out the West and really? I don't know if they're a play-in team or a first-round exit. I do think they got good young talent. They play hard, but I don't know with Ja's inability to be able to shoot is something that I think is going to hurt them. Teams that I do think Ja would look good at, probably fit in better, would more so be people say Miami, but I just don't know about the fit, only because the players ain't no really upgrade different. Unless you're keeping Bam over there, Bam and Ja. I mean, that's nothing but Jaren Jackson and him again in the East. Like, he's playing on the Memphis Grizzlies in the East. The only difference we're looking at is Pat Riley being kind of that structure type of guy, but that team ain't really doing nothing different. Ja may need to look at, some type of team to contending. So that looking at, the Rockets. Do you make the trade of some draft picks, Fred VanVleet, everybody but KD, Sengun, and Thompson? Everybody can go. If Thompson got to go, then he got to go. I would try to hold on to him and get rid of my draft picks before I get rid of him. So something to just keep an eye on. I think Ja would do good at the Rockets. That's probably his better chance of playing true, meaningful basketball, getting his focus and mental back, as far as hooping. So, Ja, I hope you read between the lines and be professional, because that's really what's going to hold the brand together. Just stay professional, Ja. Stay, just don't get on the bad side, being in your situation. It's not saying you got to suck up or nothing, but it's more just, just play the best to your ability. You've done it in the past. I felt like that's what's made the people fan of your game too, because you had the Grizzlies, and at times not reach higher expectations. So you can do it. What's up, man? I was talking about the Grizzlies, uh, Ja. I was saying what team I think Pete, the rumor was him in Miami, but I was just like, man, the team in Miami ain't nothing but a East Coast Memphis. Like it don't move the needle. Where you thinking? What's your job situation, man? What you feeling about that?
I feel like the relationship between Ja and the Grizzlies has gotten to a point now where it's extremely strained.
Yeah.
I feel like the Grizzlies are probably looking at him as like this is a athletic young guard, but that athletic young guard mold, time and time again, has proven like unsuccessful as your number one on a
Yeah.
championship team. When you consider guys like Derrick Rose or Russ even, and it's like okay, like Ja's been there for 7 years now, I think, and I think it's getting to the point where like the Grizzlies are starting to like seriously consider if they can win with Ja as the one, and as a result, their relationship is strained.
Yeah.
Um, and Ja just looks completely disconnected from the games. And even in like one of his responses, it was after they had lost to the Lakers. He was like, if you ask the coaching staff, they would say probably not playing me. And I think that tells a lot about where his relationship is. But I think for basketball purposes, I would like to see him play alongside Anthony Edwards.
Yeah, that'd be a good little pick. But you just gotta understand too, when they say you better off not playing, really that tells me is people see, and I watched that game top to bottom too, from jump off to that dude from the jump, bro, was not his passing was lazy. He was playing lazy, man. It's I don't like to say that to some of them cats sabotage, but they will go out there and really on that Jimmy Butler move antic, like, and that's no disrespect to him, but man, he was just moving away. So they'll be like, man, if you just gonna play like that, we might as well just sit on down then, bro. Like, that's really what I think why they would say that. And Josh should have took that on the chin and and understood that they seen that effort. They seen it, man. I was mentioning though earlier. You really said a lot of the stuff I said too, by the way. But I said too, he needs to work on his jump shot. Like teams are making him a jump shooter. He's shooting. He's not. You got to be able to shoot the ball in the West at the PG. You got to be able. I feel like that's just what it comes down to a little, or not come down to, but it's definitely effective, especially playoff time. So he doesn't have that. He has to rely on that athletic, and that kind of just can, injuries, everything too. You said so, or I would like to see him be along another player too to alleviate some of that. Having to do a lot, keep him kind of a little bit more healthier. I agree. Memphis, he's gonna have to do a lot. So, yeah, I agree. That's a good trade, though. That's a good trade. Who do you trade in that though? Is that because they're asking for Julius Randle? That's for sure.
I don't. That's what makes it tricky because the salaries will have to match, and Julius Randle is one of the pieces you want to keep. If you're Minnesota, you want to have Ja and Julius.
So it's not.
So
So
maybe
it's
you
not. So it's
consider,
Nas. So it's Nas.
yeah, you would have to send some sort of package of like DiVincenzo, Nas Reed, um, and maybe some picks. Because at that point Memphis would go into a full rebuild.
Rob
Um,
Dillingham in there with the PG too. Rob got that little swag. He could run in
yeah,
Memphis. He definitely would be in there. He seems like he fits that. That combination would be lethal though, with John and Anthony Edwards though.
oh yeah,
That's for sure.
oh
He'd
yeah.
be
I
the
think
cat.
that would probably be it. As athletic as a backcourt. we've seen in a long time.
That's a fact. Looks like Spurs they won tonight, man. I'm just looking at they went beyond it, man. 38. Dang, man. We didn't throw Wimby in the MVP. We didn't. Whoa. We didn't throw him in there. He's definitely MVP talk. Man, we're taking
I
Giannis over
do
Wimby
think
right now.
Wimby's.
We're taking Giannis over Wimby
I
right now.
I think Giannis has been more consistent because Wimby has had a couple stinkers.
These last couple games have been stinkers. I agree.
Like I'm gonna tune into this Mavs Bucks game real quick because I want to see how Giannis is doing actually.
Dang, they've actually
Uh,
came back, man. Dang.
yeah, Giannis has 28, 6 and 6 right now, 11 to 14, 3 blocks. Uh, Missing free throws. He 5 of 10 from the free throw line. But like, it's another solid night for Giannis.
Definitely
Wemby
solid.
had a game, I think it was against the Suns, where he had like 10 points, I'm pretty sure. I don't want to misquote, so let me take a look real quick.
Kyle Kuzma balling. Bobby Portis, 22 and about 13.
I really like Bobby's game. I think he fits super well alongside Giannis.
Oh, yeah, me too. I do too. And I like Miles Turner once he's gonna. I think that Pacers game he had when they was booing him kind of woke him up, and I like that. I like that. I think he's been playing a little bit more. Man, I had him in our car. He was at a point in time where he was on some Carl Anthony Towns level, man. Like he was stepping out. He was playing, man. He was definitely two-way for sure. I think he has it.
Yeah.
I think he has it. He just ain't been let loose. Let me see. He may not want it either. But I don't know. He has it. Cooper Flag got 20 for the Mavs. PJ 15, 5. Look at his assist level. Ain't really nobody really. Assists is kind of spread out. D'Lo 3 assists. Like, come on, man. He ain't.
I also looked at the stats on the Mavs earlier. So I had cut out when we were talking about them. The Mavs are a poor 3-point shooting team. I
Mm.
was looking at their team in totality, and they have two guys who shoot above 30% from three. Everybody else is in the range of 22 to 29%.
And that's where Clay was supposed to alleviate that, man. Look at this: 7 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist. Come on, Clay.
Clay is actually one of the worst shooters on the team. If I'm not mistaken, he's shooting 25% from three. 1 second.
Guess he's been sick then.
Clay
I ain't gonna say nothing, Clay.
Clay is shooting 26% from three this year.
Come on, man.
Their best 3-point shooter is Max Christie, shooting 46% from three. Their second best is Jaden Hardy at 39%. Their next best is, let's see, who is it? PJ Washington and D'Angelo Russell at 27.5% from three.
Dang, man. Look at that, bro. That's
As a
crazy. Dang, that's crazy, man. Philly. Philly's been playing well. VJ, we gotta show some love to the rookie. He's been,
m-
yeah.
man,
He's on something else over there, man. He plays with passion and heart. He's like he kind of plays like that. No friends on the court. That interview we had with Paul George, man. That was my first time really hearing him talk about him. Man, when that viral video of Cooper saying you're not like that, man, cool. What you talking about? That's why I just felt like when I just think of that VJ now, like, no, VJ the truth. Like I didn't know he was a dog like that. I felt like he play on both ends. He's confident. Man, like he's really rejuvenated the Sixers in a way too. Kind of gave them a little breath of fresh air. So shout out VJ Edgecombe, man. He's been balling. He's been complimenting Maxi. Man, I actually feel like quietly, loudly, but quietly, we've seen the shift to Embiid possibly really being a third option. Embiid is like, hey, I'll take that. I'm getting paid as a third option. Hey man, I feel like Embiid's taking that role in, and I like that from him. I like his attitude and how that's been too. He's letting them young bucks, and just accept it and bought in, and so I feel like that's helped the Sixers for sure, man. I'm definitely just surprised with their start for sure. I'll tell you a team I was disappointed. Well, how you feel about them before I start? My bad. How you feel about the Sixers, man?
The Sixers.
Yeah.
I think the Sixers have their guard play has been really good this year. Like you said,
Yeah.
between Maxi and VJ. Obviously, you get Jarrett back. I felt like Jarrett was going to win Rookie of the Year last year before he
Ooh,
ultimately
forgot
got
about that.
hurt.
Yeah.
Um, One thing I will say is like Embiid is averaging 20, but you can just tell he's not the same guy.
No.
Like I saw Embiid like essentially try to dunk the other game and it turned into a floater
Yeah, I seen that too.
and it's like man he can't lift he can't lift the same.
It's over with.
And I think it was really sad because for there was a serious debate for a couple of years like who was a better center between him and Jokic, and now it's not even close.
Yeah.
I do think he has embraced that role as like he's no longer the first option, but I think it is just kind of sad to see like, man, like who you once were, like you were in top five discussions year in and year out. Like it was a debate on if you were better than Jokic or not because you played better defense than Jokic.
That's a fact.
And to see him like that now, especially after all those injuries, man,
Yeah.
especially to such a big guy, like injuries to the legs, like that's crucial.
He kind of reminds me of the Greg Oden in a way, man. Like Greg Oden had that effect too. With just the time right now, Joel Embiid just kind of had the freedom to last a little longer. They were, being able to shoot. I think kind of lasted his career a little longer than even he could shoot the ball a little better than Greg Oden. But man, that body just ain't holding up. So no, I agree with you. I can tell by the way he doesn't even look at a loose ball. That dude, he don't even think twice, man. Like, whoa, whoa, like let that thing roll. He's expecting one of the younger cats to come grab and get it. He's not bending over, man, like that. So no, I definitely think he's thinking wisely when it comes to that too. Do think they need him to be effective. He probably shouldn't be playing back to backs, but in his
And
case,
the
the only
thing
way
is,
he can't be in. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, Embiid isn't that old. He just turned
I know.
31 this year.
I know he can't. Boy, he ain't bending over picking that ball up, bro. Nah, he's letting that mug roll out. So, uh, I will say, man, they've definitely been over, performing. So, shout out Philly. Um, Let me see. Orlando's been a little disappointing. They're in Boston, but they're kind of right there. I do feel like Orlando should be at the top a little bit. Where the Heat, the Bulls are. The Bulls are probably one of the more exciting, surprising teams in the East as well. So after Giddy got messed up last night, though, I don't know if he's what his situation is, man. Hey, DeAndre Hunter crossed him up something serious. So um, man, I seen he was a little injured, but the Bulls have been very, impressive playing. Giddy's been playing. They've been playing very good team basketball, moving the ball. Their offense looks like it changed. Yeah, man, the Bulls and Heat and Bucks, Sixers, they are right there. Trey Young's out right now. But the Magic really being at the bottom of the East is that shouldn't be, man. I don't know what's going on in there. Bane, he ain't shooting the ball well. I don't know what's going on over there. Probably egos, man. That's what my senses tell me is egos. Bane comes from Memphis thinking they proved something. Pablo's the one of them, hey, it's my team. It's that Jalen Suggs came back this year. You know how that can be.
Mhm.
He's trying to get his off too, you know what I'm saying, letting cats know. He's there. So uh it's just I don't know, man. Magic's a team that should be up higher for sure though, man. What you think about the rest of the East?
I think how the East has played out this year
Hmm.
it's been surprising, but not surprising at the same time. Like I knew Detroit was gonna be good,
Right.
especially based off of what they showed last year. But the separation between them and everybody else in the East has been crazy, if I'm being frank. Miami, I didn't see playing this well, simply because like, yeah, Bam and Tyler Hero are really nice. They're really good players, but I didn't think it would be this
Yeah.
without Jimmy. But I think that's just a testament to like how well coached they are, especially with Eric Spoelstra at the head, and then obviously Pat Riley upstairs. The Cavs, I expected the Cavs to be good. I expected the Bucks to be good. Giannis is still there. Giannis is still Giannis. The Sixers were a bit of surprise just because I thought Paul George's injury would hurt them. But I
Yeah.
think that the emergence of Tyrese Maxey and then the gym in VJ Edgecombe has really helped them. Obviously, Boston and Atlanta hovered in the play in. Boston was going to take a step back without Jason Tatum.
Yeah.
Uh, Atlanta has always hovered in the play in the last couple of years. The Bulls were a surprise,
Yeah.
because
Definitely.
they were a frisky team last year, whereas like you didn't expect them to be anything crazy, but if you didn't pay enough attention, they'll beat you.
Facts.
Um, because they beat the Lakers on something like that last year, where Josh Giddey hits a half
Man.
court buzzer beater for game,
Yeah.
and I was like, man, uh, but yeah, the East has been the weirder of the two conferences. I think the West has played out like I thought it would, but the
Yeah. Me
East
too.
has been completely unpredictable so
And we knew
far.
that. We knew that going into the season with just the injuries, it would be looking different. So we definitely seen it. Real quick, man. You mentioned, man. If you, I'm looking at Miami stats. Andrew Wiggins averaging 17 and 6. Bam 19 and 7. James Jaquez 17. Here's another kicker though. Norman Powell averaging 23.3. I'm like, whoa,
Mm,
like they are, and Norman being a more better shooter than Jimmy, I think you're seeing the three ball a little bit different. What's he shooting? What's Norman shooting from three over there? He's shooting 46.7 field goal. Shoot, oh man, he's shooting 46.2 3 point 3 point percentage. So see, you're getting different buckets over there in Miami without Jimmy and the free throw line. So we're definitely able to see, man. So dang, that's crazy over there, man, with that. But I guess, like you
yeah.
said, it's not surprising with Eric Spoelstra at the head. You know what I'm saying? That veteran coaching and adapting to what you have, and that's good basketball for free agency too. You know what I'm saying? When they see that type of coaching play and succeed with these type of players that they have, it reminds me of Rick Carlisle. That's what I know the Pacers have struggled, but man, one thing I love about their team and the way they play, he gets players that play for him, and it just be those players that hoop, man. I'd be like, man, like he can make something shake with nothing, and that's a testament to his coaching and putting people in the right position, based off of like their skill level. So Eric definitely has that. I like that about coaches, man, for sure, for sure. Um, Man, I think we pretty much, Oh, before we go, man, we definitely got to touch base on Golden State, man. What's been with Golden State? I know Steph's been out sick. What's your makeup of them in these last 2 weeks, man? What you like? You think they need to make a move? You think they all right? What you think?
I definitely think they need to make a move.
Oh,
The worries like that I expressed before the season with Golden State are just starting to show its head. Like they rely super heavily on older guys. I feel like Kaminga has played well. Kaminga's averaging
yes.
15, 7 and 3. So I think he has been a gem. And it is good to see that they got the contract situation worked out with him.
Yep.
Paz is averaging 12. But I think that old lineup of Steph, Jimmy, Dre, and Al Horford, like it's just
Yeah, I
they're
see.
too they're old. Like you have a 30. Al Horford is 39. Steph, I'm pretty sure is 37. Jimmy is 36 and Draymond is 35. Your experienced guys are all old. And
Yeah,
like Al Horford has been struggling so far to start the season. Like he's
same.
averaging 5.6 points and his field goal percentage is 35%. 5.6 points, shooting 35% from the field, and he's shooting 30% from three.
Dang.
Mhm.
Who does the Warriors look to get? I think they need to go big. Um, I think if you're
I
gonna
think they
trade
need to
to,
go big
they need to go big.
and you want to go
Okay,
younger.
for sure. Who's somebody that they could look at? Who is somebody that you think could fill that? Like what you think? Is there somebody in mind?
Honestly, if Ja get moved, I'm calling Memphis about Jaren Jackson
Calling Memphis about Jaren Jackson. So the
because
Warriors got
Jaren is another big guy.
yeah. You're gonna have to trade
That's a
Draymond Green
big who
too.
can
I feel
shoot the
like, man.
ball.
Like Draymond's got to go, and I think that's something that's held them up being able to
I
go big too. That's
man, at
held
this
them up.
point, Jaren is a big body who's going to
Yeah, I
defend
like
the
that.
rim. He can spread the floor because he can shoot the three ball. Obviously, the pick and roll with him and Steph that'll be great,
Yeah,
especially to have like a young guy in there. Um, and then now you obviously you can get a guy who can get in there and rebound as well. And he's so much younger than Draymond and Al Horford. So now
yeah,
you have him for the foreseeable future, for when your young guys start developing. So if you got to get rid of Draymond, I feel like Draymond for Jaren Jackson is an upgrade, or
Draymond for
some
Jaren.
package
Yeah,
involving Draymond for Jaren is an upgrade.
I like that. Somewhere in there. No. I like that in there. Dang, the Bucks at that Mavericks is going at 116, 116, 114, 1.2 seconds left. Man, see what I'm saying, man? The Bucks been pooping, bro. Like they just been. Doc got them playing good, man. And Giannis. I'm not shocked, but I'm shocked, man. I am shocked. Look, a quiet 30. Man, Kyle Kuzma, 26. Like, yeah, man, them others. And that's what we talked about in our other episodes, how that we thought, the league was going to hit too, as far as, you know, more depth, like one, two stars the most, and then the rest of, players good at what they do, shooting and ball handling, being able to at least do that big or small, in regards to position. And so, no, man, I agree, man. What about the Knicks, man? How you think the Knicks has performed with new coach Mike Brown? How you think that's looking?
I think the Knicks have been solid.
Yeah,
Um, I want to see how they progress like as the season goes on. The Knicks have been in some pretty weird games.
yeah,
Like I'm pretty sure I don't remember when it was, but I watched them play Chicago. Um, and it seemed like the Knicks were just having it was the first night that they played Chicago because they played them back to back. They beat them the second time, and but they lost the first time.
yeah.
And it was so weird to see them because they had been in the midst of a 3-game losing streak. They lost to the Heat, the Bucks, and then Chicago, which are three of the other top teams in the East. So it raised my eyebrow a bit. Um, and then they rattle off wins against the Bulls, against the Wizards, and then they blow the
Mm-hmm.
doors off of Minnesota. I was like, okay, um, like this Knicks team, like I feel like they're good. I feel
Mm-hmm.
like it can probably come down to them and the Pistons in the Eastern Conference Finals,
I like that.
um, with the Bucks as like a third. But I want to see how they progress
Yeah.
as the season goes on.
No, that I like that. I like that. I like that, man. I like that too, man. I think the Detroit is definitely a team to keep an eye on. That could definitely, match New York in physicality and just be that team to look out for. I agree on that. That's definitely a sleeper over there, man. Man, OKC still looking like the team to beat. You know, they're undefeated still in the NBA. Shea's looking like they just looking like that. And man, look, they doing this without Jalen Williams, man. It's just like, dude, they balling over there, man. Like to me, they're the best team in basketball. Them and the Nuggets to me, you know, when they're on, they're tough to beat. I don't feel like the Nuggets have really they're gelling, but I don't think they have reached their ceiling just yet. Playoff time, I'll see. I do think like players like Tim Hardaway Jr. and even Johnson and Bruce Brown, players like that, they'll fine tune and get acclimated even better as the season goes. But even just where they're at, that's a team I do think, just the Detroit and New York, I think it's going to be, OKC and Denver. I think Denver gives them a run for their money in the West. Um, Jokic does going to do what he do. Aaron Gordon is shooting the best from the three that he's shot all his career. You know what I'm saying? He's he's balling. Jamal's been balling. He looks like he came in shape, ready to play. When he's in shape and locked in, they tough. So, that leads me to say, OKC, Denver, New York, Detroit. They ain't bad to say top four teams in the NBA right now. That Detroit's a little shake. Really, the East could change. Just Chicago's really been there, really, as the best team in basketball. I feel like in the East, the last couple of weeks. Cleveland is a team, of course, to sleep on. Donovan Mitchell he's been hooping. Donovan been hooping too. He's on that honorable mention of that MVP, man. Man, Marcus, I'm glad to be back with it, man. So much good basketball happening, man.
Yes, sir.
We're definitely gonna be putting out more content, more frequently. We back with it. A lot of good hoops, y'all. As usual, we gonna cover the real. We're gonna get that real. Good analyzation of the game and what we've been noticing these last 2 weeks of the game. We appreciate all the subscribers, man. We everywhere: Spotify, YouTube, um, Facebook, Instagram. We out there, so make sure y'all subscribe. We were athletes once. Marcus, it's been a pleasure. Here, maybe in a couple weeks, I think we're gonna get Drew on here, man. See where he's been feeling. As far as the games he's been watching. We know he's a Celtics fan and how he feels about them Celtics. Oh, my bad, we didn't get him no love. But, Jaylen Brown been stealing the show with his hair, so it's kind of been taking the shine from the hoops. But I think they kind of where they at, too, like you mentioned, man. Or I think, mentioned them in that middle of the pack. They had a big win last night. It seems like still yet their chemistry's been well over in Boston, man. So shout out Boston. I really don't hope y'all do nothing anyways, and Lakers get us another banner. So, yeah, Marcus, man, we're going to get back to it next week, man. If not before this week's over, we'll see where the wind blows us, man. Always a pleasure, Marcus, speaking hoops with you, man. What you got to say to the people before we go, man?
Hey man, I just want to say I appreciate y'all tuning in. Obviously, we love to have y'all. We hope for all of y'all to be able to tune back in as we go throughout the season, get some
Sir.
great hoops, talk some ball, and of course, like it's all love, family.
It's all love, man. Hey, we going to get back to y'all. We appreciate y'all. All right, Marcus, we going to get back to it, man.
Peace.
Peace.